All right, guys, part two here. I probably could have made that video a little bit longer, but I got cut off there. Getting back to my story about young farming and young farmers, people that want to start farming. Going back to where I ended my story, I was in college for business. Like I said, I worked for this dairy farm all the way through high school and into college. I'd go to class after my class was up. It's just community college. I could commute from home. I'd get back home, change into my work clothes, go out to the dairy, work. Then if I had another class in the afternoon, then I'd work until I had to leave again. So I got a real good exposure to farm work and the farm life early on, like I said, through high school and into college. Now, somewhere in my college career, and I guess it was about year three and a half, I was going for business administration. We had a lot of family drama and problems in the family with mom and dad and some other things. I'm not going to get into it, but I too was wrestling with some issues with being in college. It just wasn't, I just didn't see the application for what I wanted to do. I'd go to class and be sitting through these accounting classes and stuff, and a lot of it was common sense, and it felt like such a waste of time, and I wanted to work. I mean, I really wanted to get into farming more and be around farms, and there's not a lot of money in it just so even yourself, but to be an employee on a farm, it's kind of tough. So I managed to get a job full-time working for my local Case IH farm equipment dealer. It was within walking distance of my house. I could get up in the morning and walk to work, and it was full-time. It was the most I was ever paid in my life, uniforms and health insurance. So to me, that was a way better option than sitting in college listening to professors ramble on about everything. So anyway, so I was working for my local Case International dealer for about 10 years. I started off just as a semi-experience. Like I said, I was working on farms. I could do service and stuff. And they trained me, and I started by just servicing lawnmowers, and I worked my way all the way up. Over the course of 10 years, I was making service calls out of state. Even I was in Jersey a bunch of times, to being a regular full-time mechanic. That was another key. And again, tying into my story here, having the mechanical ability to work on your own equipment and to know what to listen for, what to look for, knowing how machines work, knowing where the stress points are, knowing what to look for even when you go to buy used equipment. It gave me a huge leg up. I mean, I could go to a dealer's lot and look at used equipment and know right away, oh, that needs this, that needs that, that costs X amount of dollars, that's a major project, or hey, that's only minor, I can do that, no problem, low cost. And it's more than just getting on the tractor and driving. It really is. You always hear people talk about being an operator versus a driver, and there's truth to that. Knowing what to listen for and to be able to know what your machines are doing. So fast forwarding again, anybody that's interested in becoming a farmer, or a young farmer that's interested in this profession, you have to get your feet wet other places first. I believe that. Now, if you're a young farmer growing up on your family farm and your dad farmed, pay attention to things and learn. Listen to your dad or grandfather. It's the best way to learn. You don't have to go off the farm to get a job if they're willing to include you in the business. That's a great way to get started. I wish I had that. I could say, hey, granddad, what do I do here? Or, hey, dad, what do you think about this? But like I said, I'm trying to make up for 3 lost generations here, going back to 1930. So, yeah, it's been a interesting ride so far. So a couple of things in that article, the Successful Farming article, was a lot of money is required if you want to start any business. It takes a lot of money, and it's farming especially. All the variety of equipment that you're going to need. When I started, and this is one of the best things I can tell anybody, this is the best piece of advice I can tell anybody, farm or not farm. Don't have any debt. When you go into this, come into this debt-free. Don't have credit card debt or car payments. I was wrong when I was younger. I was 20 years old and had to have a $30,000 diesel pickup truck. And I financed it, and I worked, and it took 6 years to pay the dumb thing off because I had to have it. And that took a lot of money away from me being able to save. It was a couple years later in life when I realized, hey, this this doesn't work to finance everything. This doesn't work to have credit cards. It doesn't work to make payments at 24% interest on a credit card. So yeah, come into it debt free. Don't pay off everything. Work hard to pay everything off. And the next thing is to have money in the bank when you start. Now that I'm farming, yes, I do have debt from time to time. It's hard to get away from. Some years are good, some years are bad. But when I was able to go to the Farm Credit Office, I was able to walk in there with no debt and have a good chunk of money in the bank to get started with. And that makes all the difference, that you don't have to borrow as much. But yeah, I really believe in being debt-free, working hard at it still. I listen to Dave Ramsey on the radio every so often. I don't know, a lot of you guys probably heard of him. If not, just do a Google search or a search on YouTube and watch some videos. If you want to get out of debt, honestly, that was the only way that I found worked to get out of debt, and to live your life debt-free. So anyway, that's my best advice there. Now, secondly, land. That's always a big thing in successful farming. Hit the nail on the head trying to find land. Like I said, I'm not farming the family farm. This isn't the home farm. This isn't where my family was originally from. This is a neighboring farm about a mile away. I was able to rent this farm. There was a farmhouse here. I wanted to get married back in 2010, I guess it was. I wanted a place to live. I heard there was a farmhouse for rent on the neighboring farm. So I stopped and see could I rent the house, and no problems there. I lived here quite a while other people rented the house. Still working at the Case IH dealer, and still commuting to work. I had to move away, but anyway, working there, making money, saving. Somewhere in there we had a little bit of a mini crisis with the farming. The grain prices dropped, and I don't know if that was 2008. My timeline might be off there, but anyway, work slowed way down, and I was laid off, and the farm income wasn't so good. So I had to go and get an off-the-farm job, which is another bit of advice. It's not easy to work away from the farm when you want to farm. Believe me when I say it was a lot of days in misery almost, having to work a job that has nothing to do with farming and what you want to do. It just feels like such a waste of your time and your efforts, and I mean, almost being depressed on your ride to work in the morning and seeing a tractor out in the field working and knowing that you're not a part of it anymore. But you had to do what you had to do. So I was able to keep saving. And in the meantime, the guy that used to farm this place had retired, and the landlord knew that I had experience farming and asked would I be interested to rent the place and farm. It was a dream come true for sure for me. He didn't give me a whole lot of notice, it was a lot of scrambling, which that's fine. It's all right. But I was able to slap together the whole operation in about 2 months, everything I needed, all the equipment, and yeah, so that's where we're at. Been talking to a lot of the neighbors and keep learning all the time. But finding access to land, I know it's difficult. I just saw an article that now they're starting to offer tax credits to landlords that want to help young beginning farmers, which there might be more landlords looking for younger farmers in the future. But it doesn't hurt to ask around. If you want to farm, even start small. I farmed a little bit over at the home farm for a couple years. I only ever had 30 acres over there, but that gave me more experience and helped me get some of this stuff ironed out. So yeah, it's a little bit of I guess it was more of my family history than it was advice for beginning farmers. But that's my story. That's the road I took. It wasn't easy to get here. It takes time. It's not something you're just going to say, hey, I want to farm. I wanted to farm since I was very young. So you're talking 17, 18 years till this finally happened. So I may post some more videos eventually with some more of my thoughts on the subject. But hey, if you're a young guy and you want to farm, just keep at it. Get a job on a farm. Work around farmers. Get some information about your local area. Save money. Don't borrow a lot of money for things, and you're gonna have a pretty good foothold and a pretty good start to your operation. So I want to thank the new subscribers. I didn't expect 3 weeks ago to have 24 subscribers already. I'm surprised that there's interest in these videos. So this, I guess, can serve more of an introduction to me and my operation, PA Farms. But like I say, I am a one-man show. So taking video isn't something that's always easy. But I'll keep posting my baling videos. I think I only have 2 clips of baling. Those were by far the most viewed. So if I get out on the baler, if we get 3 nice days in a row, and I can cut some more hay and bale some more hay, I'll post some more videos of baling hay. So thanks for watching, guys, and I guess this will, like I said, will serve as a introduction to my channel and how I got here. So thanks a lot.